Hi there. Okay, well, I'm back and I've continued on with the moccasins that we were making. And I guess I had kind of a fortunate day today in that the leather knife that I ordered arrived. And I got it from on eBay. And the company that makes them is called The Jaeger. And they make some very nice knives. The leather knife that I got was called a head knife, or it's also called a round knife. And it's made of Damascus steel. If you don't know what Damascus steel looks like, this is what it looks like. Okay, so you can see all the different patterns in there. Well, that's because they take the steel and they fold it over and over and over again into multiple layers. And then when they finish it, all the different layers come to the surface, and this is the pattern that you get, or something similar to it. This one here I ordered without a handle, so I'll put my own handle on it. And with Damascus steel, it stays sharp for a very long time. The steel is really the best steel for knives that you can get, and so I plan on not having to sharpen this one very often. And I'm just going to wrap paracord around the handle. And there's quite a few different videos on YouTube that will show you how to use it. But I just wanted to get one. It's a very top-notch knife. And I also had some fortune in that while I was at Tandy yesterday, they were having a sale on their letters. Okay, a sale on their stamping letters. See if I can get this light so that it's not in everybody's eyes. So it was a pretty good deal, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to be able to do some stamping now in the different leathers, put people's names on their moccasins if so desired, or any other lettering that might be appropriate. And so I was pretty pleased with that. And then you need to get a block of granite or marble to go along with it, so that so you got something to pound on. So I'm looking forward to using these things. But for now, we got some moccasins to finish up. Now, yesterday we had started, on this set of pair of moccasins, and I stopped about here, and I continued to finish them off up to the point where the gathers are going to start. Now the gathers are going to be just past the last shoelace or laces loop. And if you look at it, this is the left foot, and you want to start reducing or start the gathers just about where your baby toe is going to be sitting. Okay, so that would be about the place, and then you'll continue the gathers, and they'll end somewhere over on the opposite side. It doesn't really matter where, but if you start too soon, you'll end up running out of gathers, over here somewhere, and it'll look rather odd. So start just on the other side of where your baby toe sits, and I'll just show you how we get this going. Okay, so we've got our two Korean waxed, I think it's nylon cord, and here's what we're going to start to do. So the first thing is make sure you take some pliers and snug up all your lacing that you've already put in. Okay, and when you've got it snugged up the way that you like it, what I do is put a clip on it to hold it in place. Okay, now in order to make these gathers, we got to use less material on the inside and more material on the outside. So what I'd like to do is I take my chalk and I give it maybe a quarter of an inch, 3/16 to a quarter of an inch. Let's say a quarter of an inch. And I give it a mark there. Then what I like to do is I take my pliers, and you can see, okay, that they're even. If I went directly across, this would be where the hole is. But I'm not going to pick up any gather at that point. So I have to move to the right. Now, moving to the right, you start your gathers. And I used to just punch all the holes and then just gather them up. But it never did work really well. So it's best if you punch your holes as you need them. Don't punch them in advance. So we take our pliers and we just push it in like that. And probably the best thing for you to do until you develop a sense of how much of a gather you want is to try to make as small a gather as possible. For instance, if you took this and you pushed it way over here, well, you can see how big that gather would be, and that's certainly not going to look very good. So what I want you to do is to make as small a gather as possible. Now that should work out just about right for you. So push it up, then I take my finger and lay it beside the gather, and then once you get good at it, you could take and punch your hole right now. But it's you're taking a chance on it, so it's a lot easier just now to go and punch your hole on the other side, or to mark your hole on the other side. So we've got some leather there. We've got our hole on this side. Now we'll just take and mark it on the other side. And you want to go down, when you punch your hole, go down about a quarter of an inch. Should be just fine. Okay, so I'll do this one first. And this is where it's good to have that leather on the inside. Mine's coming unglued here, but that's not a problem. Because then you've got something really significant to work with. And again, measure down about a quarter of an inch. Okay, now start with the one on the right hand side, and it goes over the top. And you can just push it through. Okay, and then come to the toe side and put it through. Oh boy. And just come through on the toe side. Then take your other one, and now what you have to do is to go past the one that you just put in. Okay, so you can still open them up and put it through on the toe, and make sure that you don't clip your waxed cord, because it'll be a real nuisance if you do, and then you gotta fix it then, and it's kind of a nuisance. Okay, so I've gone through that one side. Now I'm going to go through on the other side. Again, sometimes if you grab the cord and move it away, then you can get your needle past it without any trouble. And that's why I mentioned to you some time ago about filing off that front so that it's nice and smooth. Okay, and pull it out. And we've got our two laces there. You know what, I'm going to glue that down. Okay, now when you snug up on your cord, it should form an X. Okay, and that's what we've got there. So what you do is you'll need some pliers with some teeth in them, because otherwise they slip off. Okay, so just grab your cord one piece at a time and pull them tight. Oh, we'll make sure that we got our leather in there. Now, one half of the X is on the left hand side of the gather, and the other cord is on the right hand side. And so that's how you'll know if you've got them right or not. So one's on the left, one's on the right. Okay, and then you can kind of push it over to the left-hand side a little bit. Once you've got it like this, it doesn't move very much, but I still like to put a clip on it of some sort. Okay, so there's our next one. So again, we do the same thing, about 1/4 of an inch over. Take our leather, and remember, we don't push it way far, just push it enough that you can get a little bit of leather in there. Okay, and once you've got that, just reach behind and put your mark. Again, go down about 1/4 of an inch. Punch your hole. And punch your hole there. Okay, and then the one on the right hand side first. Go through the first part. And then come back and go through the toe part. Okay, and then the other one. We'll just try to move this first lace aside and go right beside it. And watch you don't get your cord tangled up here, otherwise you'll have to untangle it. And then go through the one on the other side. Don't forget to do both sides, because if you do, you gotta unstitch everything to get it. Okay, so there we got our X again. Take your pliers, and what you do is where this hole is, you push it forward until it lines up directly across from the other one. Flip that loop over the top, and this one stays on that side. And if you grab hold of the one that's furthest away from you, that will be the inside one, and that would be good to tighten that one up first. That kind of locks everything in place. Then grab onto this one and give it a good tug. What you can do is stick your pliers inside the leather and just roll it back a bit, and then again get everything nice. And move your clip one over. Okay, so I'll do another one. Okay, over about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, grab our leather, fold it up, and again, don't take too much, just take a little bit. Get it good, lay it back that way. Okay, and then mark on the opposite side here. You can't see what you're doing on this side, but when you do go to punch the hole, make sure it's down about at least 1/4 of an inch also. Okay, now we're going to do this hole. Now my punch isn't working really good in that it leaves the leather plug behind. Okay, and there's our other one. Down about 1/4 or a little bit more, in fact. Okay, here we go. Over the top. And then through the tongue. Okay, and this one goes past the tongue side. And then past on the outside side. And the first time I did this, it took me probably half a day. And now it takes me maybe about an hour to do it. Okay. So here we got our X again. Push it up, get one on one side, one on the other. Grab the one that's furthest away from you. Pull it tight. Then grab the other one and pull it tight. Okay, and the X's tend to start going to the inside, but it's no issue where the X's are. Okay, so we got 3 done there, and they're looking pretty good. They're pretty similar in size, and that's what we really want. Okay, so we would continue to do that all the way around until we ran out of necessary gathers, and then we just resort back over here to having the holes directly across from each other. Okay, so I'm going to show you now one that I've done, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so I've got it all completed here. I've got all of the gathers in the front, and started here. You can see how much you can open the tongue up, but I'm going to put some stud right here at the beginning for some reinforcing. But I just wanted to show you, I went past the loops. You can go right, should have enough room that you can go through here, okay? And when you get to the end, what I do is I go underneath a couple of these on the cord, and then I bury them underneath and just inside the moccasin where I cut them off, and I give it a couple drops of the crazy glue. What I got here is 501 super glue, and it is very good for, it almost instantly holds the glue, holds the laces in place. Okay, now I'm just going to show you what I do to install the rivets. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I want to go just above where the waxed cord is. Okay, so I'm going to put my rivet right about there, and you can punch through both of them at the same time. Take one of your rivets, I put it through there. Should stick out between 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch. That's not too bad. Okay, and then I like to give my button here a drop of glue. Put it on, and then on this I have an anvil. Oops. Okay, so on the anvil I place the rivet and use my setter here. Okay, and then I give it a few taps. And that set it real good. It's in there just about the right distance and everything. So I'm going to do one more on this side. Then I'm going to complete the stitching on the other moccasin. And then I'll come back and we'll show you how I measure up for the laces in here. And then we're going to be done. Okay, well, we're just about finished. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.